So, you're going to South America, Chile, most specifically. And just as a disclaimer, for this video, I'm going to be saying Chile and not Chile, like most of us do. You're just gonna have to deal with that. I guess it was like almost a year ago today, not today, but like this month, a year ago, I went and did study abroad in Santiago, Chile for roughly 6 weeks, and it was a really great experience. And I just wanted to give you guys some like tips, some heads up, some advice if you're planning to travel there in general and specifically for studying abroad in Santiago, Chile. First of all, if you are studying abroad, please do the homestay option, if it is an option for you. I was given the option to find my own apartment and stay by myself, or do a homestay and live with whoever, you know, what Chilean person was signed up to do that kind of thing. And I was going to learn more Spanish, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna live with this random person and force myself to speak it. That way I like have no choice but to not speak it at least a little bit outside of the classroom. So I did it and I was terrified. My Spanish at the time was, I would say, like moderate. It wasn't great, but I wasn't like beginner or anything. So, you know, I was like, I can maybe do it, we'll see. Anyways, I was like scared shitless, did it anyway, and it ended up being like the greatest thing that I've ever done. I lived with this Chilean grandma for like 6 months in her little apartment, and she ended up being able to give me like advice on where to go and where not to go. When I do traveling, she'd give me advice on how to get there. She helped like teach me how to get to and from school. She was just super helpful and super funny and kind, and you know, those people who are doing that signed up for it, so obviously they want you to get a lot out of it too. So she, you know, made it a point to speak to me a lot, which was great. You know, they cook for you, so you get to try the cuisine of whatever country you're staying in. I definitely recommend doing a homestay, first of all. Second of all, I'm assuming that you're going to be traveling. I mean, they have taxis there and they do have Uber there, although when I went, and probably still now, I have no idea, but when I went it was technically illegal, so they didn't have like the Uber stickers on the front like we do here. You kind of just have to get in and hope for the best, and a lot of times they'll have you sit in the front, so if it's just you or like 1 or 2 people, that way it doesn't look like, you know, they're driving or they're like chauffeuring people around in the back. But it is an option, you can do it, and it was pretty cheap too, I thought. So Uber is there, Lyft isn't. It was just Uber, I think. Taxis are there, and you can do that. Obviously, you're gonna have to speak Spanish in that situation. Tell them an address, and they'll tell you how much it's gonna cost, you know, in Spanish most likely. So definitely, you know, that one's a little bit more scary, if you will. And then they also have the metro. They have buses and they have the metro. The buses come around and you have what they call like a BIP card. I'm sure they pronounce it beep, but it's just this little card, and you can put money on it at the stations, and you just swipe it and get on the bus. They go very fast. I definitely almost fell several times. And then the metro is like this underground just subway moment. That one goes way faster, but it, you know, it's like you can't feel it as much as you do in the bus, but lots and lots and lots of people on that one. So if you're kind of claustrophobic or don't like crowds, I wouldn't recommend them, but they do get you from place to place the fastest, I think. Another thing is that, and I've read this on a lot of websites, and I found this to be true for myself, Chilean food is not like super great. You know, when you think of like Latin American, South American food, everyone thinks of the flavorful, spicy, or not even spicy, just, you know, full of flavor food, and that really wasn't the case, at least for my experience. So I wouldn't really worry about the food upsetting your stomach or things like that. They just had very plain I'm not trying to sound like I'm shitting on them, but it just wasn't very great. A lot of information online says that too, so I wouldn't worry about like, you know, when you go to a different country and eat their food and then you get sick. I don't think that will happen in Chile. Also, I'm sure if you're traveling there, you'll know this, but if not, heads up, the seasons are reversed. So if you're from the States, if you're watching this, I'm from the States. When it's summer here, it's winter there, and vice versa. So I went last summer, which is their winter. Granted, their winter is not as cold as our winter, or at least my winter. I'm in Tennessee. So I was kind of like, you know, whatever, like, it's 50s, like high 40s, that's fine. It's cold. You don't think it's gonna be cold? It's cold. It sure is. And I did not pack like nearly enough sweaters or jackets or like gloves and shit, like things like that. Pack that stuff. If you're going in their winter, our summer, pack winter clothes. You will need them. It's cold there, okay? It is. You don't think it is, and it is. So pack stuff. Also, if you are studying abroad, I guess just like one general piece of advice I would give you is to just like literally do as much as you possibly can. And I know that sounds kind of obvious to you and you're like, yeah, of course I will. But I feel like when I got down there, I just kind of like got into the rhythm of things and like my new lifestyle down there. And I didn't really like push myself to go out and do things and travel as much as I should have. So really just, I mean, like unless you're staying for a long time, and you don't have to do that, you know, every day, but if you're staying like just the summer like me, I would really try to like go to a restaurant every day, go explore with some friends or something, or just get out and do stuff, and especially do stuff on the weekends, because nothing sucks more than like being in on the weekend when everybody else is out like traveling and stuff. So definitely take advantage of this opportunity that you have. Go out and like keep yourself busy. I promise it'll be worth it. Also, as far as traveling is concerned, there are some cool places within Chile that you can travel. Valparaiso is one that we went to that was really cool, so I'd recommend going there. We also took like a class field trip to Isla Negra. The beach was gorgeous there, so I definitely recommend that. If you're doing a program, I'm sure that they'll make little weekend trips for you. Do those, by the way. We went whitewater rafting actually once, and it was cold as shit, but it was really fun. But then obviously there's like surrounding countries that are pretty easy to get to. I went to Argentina and Uruguay, and both of those countries were really cool. Obviously you've got to think about like money exchange, because each country has different currencies, so you'll have to think about that. Definitely, if you have a credit card that doesn't have the foreign transaction fee, for sure bring her. She would be helpful. Speaking of money, I brought a debit card, a credit card, and several $100s in American cash. And then when I got there, I left like half of the American cash in my room. Don't keep everything in your wallet. Keep some stuff at home. That's a big no-no, because if you lose it, then you're shit out of luck. So yeah, so I kept half of the cash that I had brought with me in the room, and then half of it I went and got exchanged for Chilean
pesos. I think it's Chilean pesos.
I think it is, but yeah. And there's all kinds of exchange spots. They have little separate stores. We went to the mall a lot just because we like to go to the mall, and we're like, we'll just do it while we're there. So you go in the mall and you just like give them your money, and they'll give you back however much it's worth in the Chilean dollars.
Is it pesos? Anyway,
so yes, take some cash with you. And I've heard don't do it at the airport, because I think that their exchange rates are higher, so you get less money than what it's actually worth if you do it there. So definitely try to go to like an actual like exchange store or something like that. Don't do it in the hotel if you can avoid it. The people were really nice to me there. I never had like one bad experience. I never felt scared. I never felt threatened or like, you know, catcalled and shit like that. Just didn't really happen that I saw. So the people are great. I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, obviously everybody's got their bad apples, but I didn't see any, so hopefully you won't either. Obviously, if you're a girl, you already know this. Don't walk alone. Don't travel alone. That sucks. So make sure you know where you're going. Make sure you like write down the street where you live, so you don't have to remember it. Put it in your phone, but write it down too. Keep it in your wallet. Oh, something else that I did that I would recommend is print a picture of your passport. Shit happens. You lose your passport and you can't get back home. To avoid that, I just like literally took a picture of like my, like the passport page with all the info with my picture and all the blah, 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 blah. Took a picture of it and printed it, put it in my wallet. Obviously, once you get there, leave your passport in your house. You don't need it. You won't, I promise. I've literally never needed it. So don't take it with you, just leave it somewhere. I kept the picture of my passport folded up in my wallet, and I have my wallet with me all the time. So for sure, I would recommend doing that just in case. Luckily, I never needed it, but I had it if I did. And another thing, when you're on the bus, I should have mentioned this earlier, but when you're on the bus or the metro, both of them honestly, don't keep if you have a backpack or a purse or anything, don't keep your backpack like on your back. Take it off and put it in front of your feet. Unfortunately, there were like 2 people on my trip who did have iPhones stolen from them, so that sucked really bad. Yeah, and it was stolen on like the metro. They just weren't paying attention, and you know, it is what it is. So just take it the fuck off, put it in front of you. I put my backpack in front of me, and then I had my phone in my hand in my jacket pocket, so I literally like could feel it the whole time. If you're like a crazy, you know, control freak like that, and you just have to know at all times, I did that, and that worked for me. But yeah, just put it in front of you, put your purse in front of you, put everything in front of you. Don't have it behind you, because it might get stolen, and we don't want that. We hate theft. We hate it. 2 drinks if you're above, you know, drinking age. I think it's probably low. It's probably 18 in Chile. I don't know. I was 21 when I went, so I didn't care. Honestly, I don't even think they ID'd any of the people with me. So if you want to drink when you're down there, 2 popular drinks, like local drinks, just popular drinks that I'd recommend. A pisco sour, which is just like pisco. I'm pretty sure it's just like a name of a vodka, just like we have Deep Eddies or Smirnoff or whatever. I'm assuming sour mix. I don't know what they put in it, but it's called a pisco sour, and it was pretty good, a little strong, but good, and you should try one if you're there. And then another one was called, and please forgive me, I cannot roll my R's. I know I'm canceled, but we're just gonna live with it. It's called, I don't even want to say it. It's called terremoto. I fucking hate the way I say R's. Anyways, it means earthquake in Spanish. Chile is like known for having like lots of earthquakes and stuff. I didn't experience one when I was there, but they're apparently super common and kind of like of high magnitude. So anyways, they named a drink after it, and it's like pineapple something, and it's got ice cream, and it's like a whole treat and a half. So you should definitely try that if you are of age, or if you're not. So if you're studying abroad, I hope you have the best time. I know I did. It really changed my life. I know it's so cheesy, all the study abroad people, they bring it up all the time. I try not to, but it did really like change my life and my outlook, and just gave me insight to a lot of stuff. So just really try to get the absolute most out of it, out of your time there. I promise it'll be worth it. Don't be scared. Everyone's nice. Everything's gonna be fine. Be smart, especially you ladies.
Be smart, girls.
But yeah, you'll have a great time, and Chile is a great country. Santiago is a great city. So yeah, hope you have a good time, and I hope my experiences and my advice helped in some way. If they didn't, then I'm fucking sorry, but I tried. So there we go. Yeah, bye.